Deadlift day. It is deficit deadlift training today. Now, deficit does not mean to deadlift on a caloric deficit. In fact, it's a style of powerlifting that's been around for ages, but it's really beginning to become popular and blow up around YouTube. I believe ever since Brendan Lilly did his 5 deadlift tips video, I've now seen at least 5 other YouTubers incorporate this style of training into their very recent videos after his video was dropped. But I'm going to break it down for you guys. Now, I want to first start off by saying that I myself am playing it very, very safe. I'm being extra cautious, haven't had a back injury before. And I'm also in the midst of basically retraining my stance. I want to get my form down. I looked at my 500-pound deadlift pull from last week, and there is a lot of form errors in it, and I don't want to become injured again. So I'm backing off on the weight, and I'm reteaching myself the form. And I'm also going to admit to you guys that my deficit won't even be a full inch. And you guys can make fun of me if you want. But again, this is a very risky, very advanced style of training. Many lifters will actually tell you it's a dumb method of training. I believe if it's done correctly, it's not a dumb method. But it is very dangerous because it throws your hips higher up into the air. And it makes you much more prone to an injury, specifically in the spine, again, if you don't do it correctly. So I'm taking baby steps until I get it down 100%. Safety over ego. Check out the Strength sweatshirt. I know you love it. It's on the website now. Same with the Strong tank tops. Can you take a guess at what our theme is right now? Strength. So a deficit deadlift, what you want is a fat 45-pound plate, a wooden platform, whatever you need to elevate your feet an inch off of the ground. Now, if you're like me and you're brand new to this exercise, you can go a little bit less than an inch, as you see I'm doing here, until you get the form down 100%. But the point of a deficit deadlift is to lower the bar an inch down closer to the floor than it would be from a regular deadlift. And what this is going to make you do is have to start the lift an inch lower than you normally would. And this is going to make the lift a lot harder. It's going to make the weight feel a lot heavier because the hardest part of a deadlift or any ascending movement is the initial launch. The beginning of the rep, the bottom of the rep. That initial yank off of the ground is the hardest part of any deadlift. That's why when you do rack pulls, for an example, where you set the barbell at knee level, you can pull so much more weight than you could on a normal deadlift because the bar is already halfway up your legs and it bypasses that challenging launch off of the floor. So when you get used to a deficit deadlift, pulling the bar from such a low position, when you finally go back to regular deadlifts, it's going to be that much higher on your shins than what you're used to. Regular deadlifts are going to feel somewhat like a rack pull after that, if that example makes sense. It's going to basically strengthen that quick launch off of the ground and ultimately strengthen your real deadlift. Because the quicker you can pull that weight off the ground, the more weight you're going to be able to pull, the more successful of a deadlift you will end up having. So gain strength in the deficit deadlift and see your real deadlift go way up in numbers. And you'll also find that you have a much stronger, faster launch off of the ground when you do your regular deadlift. The other pros of this is it really activates the hamstrings tremendously. It incorporates them in the lift, which is also going to help your regular deadlift amazingly as well. So deficit deadlifts are very dangerous if done incorrectly, but beneficial when done correctly. Now, I got really dizzy in between sets. I took 2 Super HDs earlier in the day, which is a super strong thermogenic from Cellucor, and then I forgot that I took them, and I stupidly took a sample pack of C4, which is 2 servings of C4 pre-workout out of pure habit. That's a horrible idea. Do not ever do that. I became so dizzy. I was having like an out-of-body experience in between sets. I had to sit down, lay down, breathe for like a half an hour, and I was sweating buckets from the extreme thermogenesis. The only thing that kept me going actually was looking at the new hoodies I came out with just today and seeing the label Strong down the sleeve. I can't come out with a clothing line with the theme being strength and not live up to it. So I did my last sets of 405. 2 sets of 7 or 8 reps on 405, and then that was it. Deficit deadlifts, guys, to help with the explosive launch off the ground for your real deadlifts. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but actually it's usually more like every day, so subscribe now.